Meanwhile, in the middle of the night, Xiao Ru was taken to a deserted field in the middle of nowhere. Alamo's men handed her a shovel and ordered her to dig a deep hole. She immediately sensed that something was terribly wrong, but with no way to escape, she had no choice but to obey. As 3 armed men silently watched, Xiao Ru kept digging, and with every scoop of dirt, her fear grew stronger. Once the pit was deep enough, the men suddenly started shoveling the dirt back in. Xiao Ru desperately struggled and begged for an explanation, but the soil quickly filled her mouth, leaving her unable to scream. Within moments, she was buried alive, with only her head left above the ground. The fear of suffocation completely consumed her. At the same time, Maddie finalized her selection of 2 girls from the club, the new dancer and Xiao Ru's biggest rival, Mechik. The next morning, the rising sun revealed Xiao Ru buried in the field with only her face exposed. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by the sound of approaching horse hooves. Alamo appeared, riding a black horse at full speed while gripping a long polo mallet in his hand. He was heading straight toward Xiao Ru. Now, her life hangs by a thread. Will Alamo finally execute her, or is there still one last chance for her survival? That's where this episode ends. What happens next? Can Xiao Ru escape this nightmare, or has her fate already been sealed? We'll find out. At the heart of the story is Xiao Ru, who finds herself trapped between 2 dangerous worlds. On one side is the unpredictable drug lord Alamo, and on the other is the relentless narcotics task force. Both sides expect complete loyalty, and one wrong move could cost her everything. This time, the agents give Xiao Ru a direct order. They want her to uncover the location of Lori, a powerful female drug boss. At the same time, Alamo also plans to use Xiao Ru to strike back at Lori. Trying to survive, Xiao Ru reaches out to Lori herself. But Lori is far too smart to fall for the trap. The moment she recognizes Xiao Ru's voice, she immediately hangs up the phone without saying a single word. With no other options left, Xiao Ru approaches one of Lori's dim-witted associates. As expected, it doesn't take much for him to accidentally reveal valuable information. Xiao Ru believes she has finally completed her mission and earned herself a little breathing room. Unfortunately, she has no idea that someone inside Alamo's organization is already working against her. Mechik, who has always hated Xiao Ru, discovers a bag of heroin hidden inside her locker. Convinced that Xiao Ru planted it to frame her, she goes straight to Alamo and accuses Xiao Ru of being a traitor. She even tells him that Xiao Ru has been asking the club's new dancers whether anyone forced them to work there. Exactly the kind of questions an undercover informant would ask. Then Mechik brings up the recent robbery. She reminds Alamo that Xiao Ru was able to recognize the getaway driver, so why couldn't she recognize the robber's voice? To her, there's only one explanation. Xiao Ru has been hiding the truth from the very beginning. As Alamo listens, his expression grows darker. The suspicion slowly turns into belief. In his mind, Xiao Ru may be the mole who has been deceiving him all along. Later that night, Xiao Ru is enjoying a quiet dinner with her friend Maddie when Alamo unexpectedly walks into the restaurant and sits right beside her. The atmosphere instantly becomes tense. Xiao Ru can barely breathe under the pressure. She secretly signals Maddie to leave, hoping to keep her out of danger. But Maddie sees something completely different. Instead of fear, she sees opportunity. After receiving a phone call, Alamo sends Xiao Ru outside, leaving him alone with Maddie. Without wasting a second, Maddie pitches a business idea. She explains that while Hollywood generated billions of dollars in revenue, adult content platforms are earning almost as much. If Alamo's club dancers are properly marketed online, they could become internet stars making enormous amounts of money every month. Alamo is impressed by Maddie's ambition and business sense. Compared to the risks of his underground empire, this new digital business looks far more profitable. He decides to give Maddie a chance and puts her in charge of selecting the best girls from the Silver Slipper Club. Meanwhile, just before dawn, Xiao Ru is taken to a remote field in the middle of nowhere. Without any explanation, Alamo's men hand her a shovel and order her to dig a deep hole. She instantly realizes something is wrong, but refusing isn't an option. Surrounded by 3 armed men, Xiao Ru silently digs as fear slowly takes over. When the pit is finally deep enough, the men suddenly push her inside and begin covering her with dirt. She desperately struggles and tries to ask what she did wrong, but the soil quickly fills her mouth. Within moments, she's buried alive, with only her head left above the ground. Panic sets in as she fights to breathe, realizing that death is only moments away. At the same time, Maddie finishes choosing 2 girls for her new online business venture: the club's newest dancer and Xiao Ru's longtime rival, Mechik. As the sun rises the next morning, Xiao Ru remains trapped in the ground with only her face exposed. The silence is suddenly broken by the sound of galloping horse hooves. Out of the distance, Alamo appears on a black horse, gripping a long polo mallet as he rides straight toward the helpless Xiao Ru. Now her fate hangs by a thread. Is Alamo about to execute her in the most brutal way imaginable, or does fate still have one final twist waiting for her?